that I see with EPD, we have a good chance to become the cloud PLM vendor.
Greetings everyone, Sarah Mei over here, and today we dive deep into the heart of innovation. Join us in today's video as I interview our area product owners, solution manager, as well as our head of engineering for SAP Enterprise Product Development as they take you through the latest innovations for the different capabilities for August 2023. Now let's meet the individuals behind these transformative innovations and features. From product management, we have Ingmarie, a pioneer in the realm of product innovation management. Felix, the mind behind specification management. Martin, shaping the path for configuration management. Jens, leading the way in product structure. We also have Michael, driving intelligent handover. And from solution management, we have Lars, our passionate visualization expert. And lastly, Carsten, the visionary head of engineering for SAP Enterprise Product Development. The first question I had to ask my colleagues was, what inspired them to create these innovations for this August release? Let's see what they have to answer.
EPD Product Innovation Management, it's a new capability to capture and process ideas and feedback. We launched the market entry scope of this application in November last year. And since then, we have been working on enhancing the initial basic offering. And the inspiration behind the August release features was to focus on making the application more configurable and easy to use. And these are requirements that I hear in close to every customer call that I'm in, and we listen to our customers.
Obviously, we're talking to a lot of customers with the development to be as close as possible to the market and really put the features into the software that have the biggest impact and prioritize them accordingly. So the features, and especially also the document management feature, is something that came directly out of the great co-innovation that we have with our customers. But obviously also we're looking at specification management and specifications, how they are used today and where we can improve the experience on the public cloud. And these are, I think, the two main points of inspiration, really trying to be better and build better solutions for our customers and listening to the direct customer feedback and requirements that they bring to us.
Yeah, so what inspired us? So there was a lot of topics that inspired us. So one is really the planning of the future. So where we think, what is our overall roadmap and so on, and that always gives us some food for thought, absolutely. And then, of course, customer feedback, so where people say, oh, why couldn't you fix that? Why couldn't you do this in a better way? Is there a way to simplify that? So, and then that made us thinking. And after all, we compiled all this information from the various sources. Then we had a very good workshop where we were sitting there, really in the office, whiteboard and painting and all that. And then out of these various sources, we came up with one idea, and that matured over time, and that's now,
how configuration management is, right?
Exactly, that will be shipped now. Exactly.
Correct.
That's good. Actually, it's the customer input and feedback we are getting. We see we are developing the right things. We raise a lot of interest in the market, not only outside to customers, also partners, but also colleagues from other departments, that they are getting more and more interest, and we get more and more questions about our product structure and the roadmap.
Actually, two things. The one thing being the general discussion around digital thread, which basically means breaking up the silos and connecting all of the different structures. That's the one thing coming from the market, basically, and from our internal thinking, so to say. And then, of course, customers, right? Yeah. Mid-sized customers that want to make their processes a little bit more efficient than they are today.
I've been responsible for answering a lot of RFIs, RFPs over the last 5 years with our asset management colleagues, specifically around the topic of asset management and the role of digital twins or digital threads, specifically binding the visual data with the asset management data. And when you look at those, the thing that's always in common between all these industrial operators is they want to basically have 3 silos of data. They want to have their visualization data, either 2D or 3D, with their operational data, with their real-time IoT data, all in one scene, so they can have an in-depth look at what's happening right now with all their assets and try to manage it that way in a predictive way versus a reactive maintenance procedures. So this is us delivering on that, supporting the various visualization types that are being requested by these operators. And really that's the inspiration why we're rolling this out.
Next, I asked the team to share one of their highlights for the capability that they're responsible for this release.
To start with, we delivered 2 new ways to configure the application. The first one is that we made it possible to add additional fields in the so-called idea forms. An idea form is simply the screen with fields that you fill out when you document and submit an idea or feedback. And in our basic application, we had fields for name and description, and we could upload an attachment. But with this new release, it will be possible to add further fields to this idea form. It can be fields for text, numbers, or a date. And this means that it's possible to ask more targeted questions to the submitters and also get a higher quality of the input. The second delivery is related to the so-called questionnaire. And that is a list of questions that an expert answers when evaluating an idea. So far, these questions were evaluated on a numeric scale. For example, the market potential of an idea is scored on a scale from 0 to 10. And now the experts have the possibility to elaborate on that and write text comments to give the numbers a context. And lastly, we have delivered some usability and convenience improvements that makes the lives of the end users easier. For example, that it's now possible to rename a campaign after it was published to correct a typo. Another improvement we implemented in the Manage Idea application, and that's a kind of database with all ideas from all campaigns. Here it's possible to group together ideas that have something in common to a so-called need. And there we noticed that users found it difficult to keep track of which ideas have been grouped already. And for that, we now implemented an indication so it's visible which ideas have been used already and in which need. So a little bit of a mix of features we delivered now for convenience and configuration.
We've worked hard to make specification better with this release and to provide more feature scope. And I think one of the main things that will also be an immediate impact for the end users is a combined feature of 2 features actually that we have added. So we've added the possibility to manage documents that belong to the specification. So you obviously capture a lot of information around properties of your products, of your chemicals that you use in your company, of your individual mechanical parts that you have, right? Mm-hmm. But sometimes this is not enough and you have document content attached to it. So we've implemented document management control on specifications that now allows you the full flexibility. And combined with that, if you upload picture content or have any kind of picture content on your specifications, you're now able to select those pictures as thumbnails as well, and they will show up everywhere in the specification. And this now really keeps this a bit, I would say, sterile feeling that we sometimes have in the applications, yes, and transforms it that you also have a visual cue of what you're looking at, because data is not always fun, but with that we can try to make it at least a bit more fun and give the user a better idea on what he's looking at before he enters the object and looks at the properties.
Exactly. So there are a couple of highlights. One really is today's problems or today's improvements that we can do with configuration management. So in the past, you had to type in the phases, so as developed or as designed, and so manually. Now we have a templating mechanism. So that's very convenient. So one thing. Another thing is now we can influence the way the system gets the information out of that. So we can limit, for example, to 3 levels only, or to only to a certain type of materials, and then stop the explosion. Mm-hmm. That's one thing. And the other thing is really future looking. So in future, we are thinking about requirements management connection, or maybe to grab the equipment structures and so on, to save them into configuration management. So we made a settings app in configuration management that is prepared also for these new entities.
Very good.
We brought that all together.
We really have 4 highlights that I would like to mention. First of all, we are now capable to allow the user to define a product very early in the development phase, already in design. It doesn't have to be a logistical product from the beginning. So you just define it for development purposes, and later on it becomes a product in S4. The second new topic is that we can allow to compare product structures. You can select baselines, for example, 2 baselines, and see what's the difference between the structures. Mm-hmm. Third topic is that we support the digital thread with a unique instance identification. So you can identify in asset management, in the development, in manufacturing, exactly the same instance of a part, for example, front left wheel of your car. And finally, we allow to integrate now to S/4HANA Cloud, public cloud.
So talking about intelligent handover, with the upcoming release with 2308, we're introducing one major feature, which is the routing feature in intelligent handover that will not just allow to allocate existing material to one additional routing coming from S4, but will also guide the user by doing that.
So it's kind of a combination of innovations that happened in the 2305 and the 2308 release. Specifically in the 2305 release of SAP Enterprise Product Development visualization capability was massive model support, 3D model support. So we can load massive BIM models or MCAD models or any 3D model for that matter. And really now we can show both product and assets of very large structures, millions of polygons, millions of hundreds of thousands of nodes. So that was really kind of an enabler for the second innovation that we're releasing with 2308 version of SAP Enterprise Product Development called Visual Asset Management. And within Visual Asset Management, one of the key capabilities that we're bringing in 10 days when we release is the ability for us to connect directly to asset performance management data coming from the SAP Enterprise Asset Management portfolio. It's specifically a cloud solution that allows operators and asset-intensive industries to create asset strategies around their assets that they're trying to maintain. And one of the key things is risk and criticality. And so now we're able to mash up that APM data directly with the 3D model to create a visual front end for asset operators, maintenance planners, reliability engineers, and maintenance technicians, rather than using text and tables.
So maybe not a single feature, but basically a complete new stack which we are supporting. So because with the upcoming 2308 release, we are integrating seamless with S4 public cloud. That means also integrations for intelligent handover, configuration management, visualization are available and work seamless out of the box with S4 public cloud. So we are now able to support S4 public cloud customers. And this is for me a major accomplishment and major achievement for enterprise product development.
Lastly, I also asked the team to share any final thoughts or insights that they might want you, our community, to know about.
Yes, actually, I have two things. The first one, that is, in addition to being a great application for capturing and processing product ideas and feedback, our innovation management application can be used for much more than that. You can use it for continuous improvement initiatives, to collect ideas on process improvements, obtain employee feedback, or even collect award nominations. So the range of the use cases is really broad. That's the first point. And the second thing is that there is much more to come. We have a great basic application and we have many ideas how we want to enhance it even further. So I would say people should stay tuned for further updates, and even better, test the application, engage in a dialogue with us, how we can continue to shape this application together.
But the main thing that I would like to add here is that everybody that's interested in specification management really can stay tuned and look forward to the upcoming releases. We are now going full steam ahead with integration. So integration to the product master on the S/4HANA side, integration to product compliance to then request, for example, design time compliance checks in the future. And this will really provide a tremendous benefit, especially in the early phases of product development, where you have a lot of impact combined with the processes that you later on anyways have to run through into supply chain.
Yeah, so one thing that is really cool with configuration management is that you can use it directly today with your existing processes that you have running on S4 or even on ECC. So we have a very nice integration there. So no need to update and change any of the underlying processes. Just use EPD configuration management today. And you get this functionality there out of the box.
Sounds good. So it's like plug and play almost. Very cool.
Absolutely.
It's really overall that I see with EPD, we have a good chance to become the cloud PLM vendor. And not only because of technology strengths that we have at SAP, but also it's about new functionalities that we are developing that we were not able to deliver in the past. Not only comparing to what we did in the past in SAP PLM, but also looking in the market, we really have some nice new features and functions.
And one thing that I would like to highlight is that's not the end of the story, right? So we do the EBOM to MBOM transformation, we do engineering to manufacturing. What's upcoming on the roadmap for next year is actually that we also introduce the handover to the asset and service management.
Excellent. I love that.
Final thoughts goes back to the whole reason, why I joined SAP 12 years ago. I knew they had the master data from design to operate. And my job has always been to bind that data together to create a visual user interface. And now we're starting to really realize this in major kind of enterprise processes. And so really it's kind of like the coming out party for visual asset management now, because now we can connect to massive structures in 3D. We can visualize those on normal devices. You don't need a whole blade server of GPUs, right? Just normal devices gives us a visual access. And 3D is now a first-class citizens of the internet via WebGL and HTML5. And so really this is exciting times for me in visualization. It's really, I can really help to change the way people work with enterprise master data.
So one topic which I believe has a lot of impact for customers was a change which we did behind the scenes. So we deployed, we used for the first time continuous feature delivery. So that means some of the features and parts of the product we shipped upfront to customers, basically in a monthly cadence. And this allows basically faster delivery of smaller increments. And this is something I believe is very beneficial to customers. And of course makes also innovation with customers reacting to feedback much faster.
Excellent. That sounds really, really good. I think continuous feature delivery is definitely a thing coming into the cloud world. So we're very excited for EPD to be part of this. So coming out of all of these interviews, I figured out there are a few themes that are worth mentioning. First of all, at the heart of our innovation lies powerful principle by listening to our customers and creating solutions that seamlessly align with their needs. Our journey is anchored in a commitment to empower businesses to run their processes smoothly, armed with apps designed to anticipate and fulfill their requirements. The interviews in this video does not only showcase innovations, but it also highlights a really vital principle, which is integrations, SAP's heart. We're not just innovating in isolation, we are weaving in the digital thread that connects, amplifies, and ensures continuity across all our applications. So as you witness these innovations and features shared in these interviews that I've hosted, remember that our shared goal and mission is not only innovation, but is also embracing our customers' wants and needs, and also creating a dynamic synergy across their digital landscape. Before we wrap up today's video, I would like to extend an invitation. So we have an upcoming event on SAP Enterprise Product Development on September 12th, where you can get an in-depth view of all the new features that came out. Our area product owners will be there, development as well as solution management, to answer all of your questions that you may have. So I would highly recommend that you check it out and register today. Thank you for joining today's video for our August 2023 release for SAP Enterprise Product Development. I hope to see you in the next video and see you on the webinar on the 12th of September. Bye!